Hi, my name's Kristen, and I'm a registered voter in the city of Boston. As a poll worker, you provide such a valuable service to Boston voters, and I, along with many others, thank you for it. If you've worked in past elections, you've probably assisted people with disabilities. Whether you have or haven't, it's always wise to stay up to date with the latest laws and guidelines for helping voters. Voters who may be in a wheelchair, who have a visual or hearing disability, or people with cognitive or developmental disabilities. As a poll worker, you can assure that voting is a smooth and positive experience for everybody. Okay, let's get started. The areas we're covering today include signage and pathways, helping voters with disabilities at the polling place, service animals and personal assistance. We'll go over suggestions for communicating with people with disabilities. And finally, we'll review the Automark ballot marking device. Let's talk about signage and pathways. To get started, I have a brief quiz for you. True or false? The law requires that every single polling place be accessible to people with disabilities. The answer is true. In every polling place, all pathways, inside and outside, must be at least 36 inches wide and free of obstructions. All passages should also be wide enough for a wheelchair to fit through. All signs should be posted in pairs. One sign needs to be posted at eye level, and another one no higher than 48 inches from the floor for persons using wheelchairs. And each polling site must have an accessible voting booth to accommodate voters with disabilities. It should be facing outward toward the voter's path of travel, so it's easy to get in and out from. Let's talk about providing assistance. As a poll worker, you shouldn't be afraid to offer assistance to someone with a disability. Believe me, we appreciate it. But be mindful. You don't have to automatically offer help. It's really a matter of common sense and courtesy. You can ask the voter what assistance they may need if it seems appropriate, but you shouldn't pressure the voter to accept your help. Okay, it's quiz time again. This time, please choose the best answer to the following question. Let's say a voter with a visual impairment comes in to vote, accompanied by an assistant. This voter requires assistance marking the ballot and prefers help from the assistant they brought with them. Your job is to insist that the voter mark the ballot using the Automark. Tell the voter that 2 election officers must provide assistance. Permit the voter to choose the person to provide assistance. Ask the police officer working at the polls to decide. It's number 3. Voters with disabilities can decide whether to arrange for assistance on their own and select the people who want to provide it. Voters may also ask for help from 2 poll workers, a friend, family member, caregiver, assisted living provider, interpreter, facility staff person, or almost anyone else to provide assistance. As most of you may know, people with visual impairments sometimes have service animals. Does the voter need to present documentation for the service animal? The answer is no. Just allow the service animal to enter the area. You can tell the voter about the Automark device, check them in, and let them vote. Also, don't touch, pet, or engage service animals in any way that may distract them. Let's talk now about communications. What is the best way to engage people with various types of disabilities? But first, a quiz. When helping a person with a disability, should you look at and speak directly with the voter, or should you talk with the voter's assistant or interpreter? By all means, always talk directly to the voter. And don't ask them questions that you wouldn't ordinarily ask another voter. When you greet people with visual disabilities, simply introduce yourself and talk in a normal tone of voice. If the polling area has steps, be sure to bring them to the voter's attention and let them know how many steps are involved. For people in wheelchairs, try to position yourself at the voter's eye level, if possible. Don't assume that they want to be pushed. Ask first. And avoid patronizing people in wheelchairs with gestures like patting them on the head or the shoulder. If the person is deaf and does not use spoken English, do not raise your voice. If you have trouble understanding something that a voter is saying, don't pretend that you do. Instead, simply write down your questions and allow them to write their response. Okay, let's talk about the Automark ballot marking device, which offers great assistance to many people. First, here's another brief quiz. Which of the following statements is not true? The Automark is a ballot marking device to assist voters who are blind, visually impaired, or have a disability that makes it difficult to mark a ballot. The Automark places a small mark on the person's arm or hand for identification. the Automark translates items on the ballot into multiple languages? The answer is number 2. The Automark absolutely does not put a mark on any part of a voter's body. What is true, however, is that poll workers need to be knowledgeable about the Automark device and comfortable when helping a voter use it. For example, the Automark has a plug for a sip puff tube, which voters who are not able to use the touchscreen or touchpad. Voters who require this should bring their own sip puff tube because it is a very personal instrument. The Automark has an audio function that lets voters with limited vision listen to the choices on the ballot. The zoom feature lets the voter increase the font size of the words on the ballot, and it also gives them the ability to enter write-in candidates. The fact is, as a poll worker, your best approach is to practice a bit of patience when communicating with or assisting people with disabilities. The bottom line really is to treat every voter with the dignity and respect that you would expect to receive. Thanks for watching and have a great day.